Are you now tuned into watching or listening what will be turned into a Live by a Code a la mode episode? Let y'all just bask in the brilliance right there of that rhyme. Magnifique. All right, nonetheless, we thought this was going to be just a 2025 content episodic thing, and we decided to continue to do this in 2026 and the near future, the vast future, however long we are creating content, however long I'm going to be running my mouth. So, nonetheless, this is, we are at Heart's Core Art Store in downtown Asheboro, North Carolina, and I am wanting so desperately to talk about Disclosure Day. Oh, man. This is a rare event for me. I am so in love with films, filmmaking, filmmakers, everything that goes into it. And I don't ever care to see this movie ever again. And I really don't have a long list of those movies like that. So this is kind of a new feeling for me, a rare feeling, a very blue moonish feeling here. And I didn't have expectations for it, honestly, going into it. But if you've seen enough movies and you go to the cinema enough, you can put the pieces together from the trailers that were out before the film came out. And that alone is so frustrating. I know that this is the way that the industry is going somehow. Maybe it's always been that way. But the more and more that I notice these things, like it just vexes me. It takes every ounce of surprise, intrigue out of this, something like Disclosure Day. And it didn't really have that much to begin with, like it was kind of packaged to. I'm not going to... I really hate folks that bash films and bash movies and directors and things like that. But I feel like this is an opportune moment and a proper moment to kind of be like, I feel like, Spielberg is a master. He's a genius. He's put together so many great things, especially in the 80s when I was growing up. That was a big, big central part of my childhood. And while I'm watching Disclosure Day, I really feel like my uncles and my aunts and my parents trying to maneuver through social media and not being in tune with the way filmmaking has evolved, but still trying to use the technology that the recent technology to create certain aspects of this film. I am dumbfounded by so much in this film. And look, I'm not knocking you going to see it. I'm just trying to talk and be passionate about it on my platform. And I'm the last thing I want to do is to deter you from going to see any movie. I am just hoping that you see this after the fact and you can kind of have a conversation with me about it, because again, I am dumbfounded by the way things went in Disclosure Day. Just like the disconnect from reality from Steven Spielberg and the rest of whoever, was the yes men and women of that project, which there had to be a lot. I mean, it's Spielberg. You're going to put your money on Spielberg. But what I'm saying to you is that it really, like that, it's a waste of my IMAX screenings. It's a waste of the audiences to go into an IMAX screening, the premium format screening when we could be seeing something else. It belongs elsewhere. It belongs in your regular auditoriums, in my opinion. This is hopefully it can be on some folks' radar and to understand that this is not really the way that I hope the future of cinema is. I'm talking back and forth right now. I'm just thinking in my head because I really don't want to bash it, but I want y'all to be aware of how ridiculous some of this is. Now, the lead actress, Emily Blunt, was fantastic. I have no idea how really that movie would have been without her. She was fantastic throughout the whole entire thing. The stupidity, like it's you should know better. Steven Spielberg should really know better than to do what he did with this film. The disconnect again. It's a disconnect. So the great reveal, I'm not going to even spoil any of this for you. The great reveal, it was like the whole world stopped and was like, you were supposed to be getting goosebumps in the movie theater. I know that that's what they were going for. And I just was puzzled. I know I'm not the only one that was puzzled by this either. It would have worked perfect in the 80s. I just can't, I can't really, I'm just talking, I'm passionate about this topic. For instance, there was one scene where they find him and they end up finding this guy for the silliest reasons. And there's this team. He's got this, just from the trailers alone, you understand what's at stake. You got this guy, he's got secrets, he wants to disclose them. That's why it's called Disclosure Day. He wants to disclose this to the entire world. And so, he goes and he's, on the run the whole time. The one scene where, he gets to a safe house. And they find him because of they just find him. Okay, I'm not going to spoil it. They find him. And then there's this team of supposed to be high intelligence, in shape, in tune folks. And literally, I hate the word literally, but literally the guy that they were trying to find was right behind him, banging off on some leaves. You can hear everything. I'm talking from me to the camera. That's how close the guy was. And you as an audience, how stupid you think we are as an audience. And then you got John Williams playing some Star Wars music in the background for it. It doesn't fit. I was so frustrated just from that alone. And it just keeps on with that same path. It keeps on. They do the whole thing where they're put the car in drive and they drive it off a cliff. Put a rock in there to drive it off a cliff. Then this whole super elite team come behind them. They hide behind a rock, y'all. They hide behind a rock. The whole team ain't just a rock from here to the camera again, from the table. I'm right here and the team is there. They can't just look around the rock. That is an insult to your audience. That is an insult to us. No matter if you come there just to have fun or not, that is an insult, y'all. I can't believe it. I can't believe the audacity of this film to be out right now. And the more I think about it, I wish that I would have done this right off of it as soon as I saw it, but I didn't. And then I go of course, all film, audiences, if you're really into film, you're going to go and you're going to look on IMDb and you're going to look at the ratings. And this is where I get even more dumbfounded. You got RogerEbert.com, whoever is, doing their reviews, gives it a 100. A 100. That means it's flawless. This alone for our culture of films and movies and producing and independence and all this fight back and forth. That is the most harmful thing that you can do to the culture of filmmaking. Is when this guy Brian Talrico, probably killed the name, I don't really care, he gives this 100. When Brian Talrico from RogerEbert.com gives Disclosure Day a 100 on his review, this fucks up the whole balance that's not even balanced. This just makes it even more of a ridiculous is my word. It just makes it so impossible. I meant to say impossible, but ridiculous is right. It makes it impossible for other films that are very, very, very worthy of that 100 that won't get the 100 because of what I'm not even going to assume why he gave it 100. I don't need to. I don't need to assume why he gave it 100. He just gave it 100. So to me, I can assume that he thinks that everything in that is perfect. Now he can think that, but he's a critic to show show the world that it's a perfect film. It is all subjective. It's fine. I understand that, but that right there is a disservice because now I want to go back and see what movies that he didn't think was 100. There's no way that that movie was 100. Zero. So many flaws in that movie. The most exciting part of it was a train scene that you could see a mile away. Like you could, like they pull up to the train, you see it, it's sloppy, it's kind of intense, and it just, man, it just, I'm flabbergasted at Disclosure Day. I'm just flabbergasted about it. You know, I will watch it again one day, but I do not want to. I kind of want to watch it after I'm talking about it to y'all, but I just don't want to waste 2.5 hours of my time because I would much rather watch Masters of the Universe because that's more, as you could tell, this is more, you know, something that interests me. And by no means is that a 100 film either, but that's getting bashed by critics as well. Not as bad as other things that really get bashed that confuse me. But this Disclosure Day, there's nothing in it that is redeemable aside from the lead actress's, performance. And I'm talking about, there's great actors in there and actresses. Colin Firth was in there, and he did okay for what Coleman Domingo, powerhouse. You know, they didn't give him enough material to get into it. I mean, the other thing is that disconnect that I'm talking about again. It's like, so you've got his mentality of it, and you've got these scenes that are supposed to be emotional and nostalgic at the same time. So then he puts whoever chooses, but I'm assuming that it's Spielberg because this is what he wants. You know, all the fuzzy, cloudy, heaven-like glows on the filter or the post-editing or with the help of lighting. Don't really know, but that's what he did. And it was it's like a soap opera at that point. And it doesn't even, there's no skin in the game. There's absolutely no skin in the game. There's nothing new. And I really don't want to see films like this again on an IMAX screen. I don't want it to see this is the one that they push out and push everything to the side for the premium formats for a week or two. You know, Toy Story's coming out, so that's going to come in. But still, that's a precious slot, for folks like me that love cinema. Vista Theater, love cinema. Like, I just love it. And that just seems like I want to talk to more people about it. So that's why I'm, doing this first. It's the opening weekend, y'all. Y'all check it out. I'm not telling you not to, and I'm not spoiling it. I'm just, this is for the absolutes, cinema snob, cine snob, or whatever, because this is what my content is for, those folks, not the ones that haven't seen it yet. So if you haven't seen it yet, hopefully you didn't make it this far into the video, number one. but just talk about it and just see, like, because I'm getting up there in age too. I'm getting up there, and I know that some things that I'm far disconnected with, that I need to like pump my brakes on. But I really feel like, with all the technology and the things that are around and all the stories that can be honed and have a unique approach to give this to us and to make it feel like it's supposed to be this profound piece, because I know that's what the marketing is. That's the reason behind it. I've saw the interviews, I've seen the people talk about it, so I know that that's what it is. To try to be this profound piece is not at all. It's like I said, it's a slap in the face to every other film that's trying to get their market out there. Like, this whole week is going to be confusing because everybody's going to be wanting to see that instead of these independent movies. Not everybody, the majority of the moviegoers. What do you want to go see the movie? Just not the general public, the people that are just that don't do this all the time. They just want to come out to the movies once in a while. Nonetheless, I'm just wanting to get this off my chest, and there's so much more I wanted to talk about. Would I have been like to been involved with the movie? Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I would have put that all over up and down my resume, been like, yeah, I was on disclosure day. Yep. Did this. I would have done that all day. But still, it's not what we need. And it's not what the layers of it. It's not what we need to exalt and put on a pedestal. It's not what we need to have 100 from RogerEbert.com, which is again, that age we grew up in, that was the name, that was the critic, it was the 2 thumbs up, and that's where so that name is associated, it's a household name with critics. So that name alone, it just, to have that on there, I'm just like, I'm dumbfounded, because let me, before I go through and do that, now you got, it's a 6.9 is what it's overall on IMDb. I rarely go to Rotten Tomatoes, and I rarely, put stock into it. I don't even want to see the rating until I see the movie. I don't even really want to see the trailers unless I'm just happen to stumble across them before the movie either. So this is something I do after the film. And, I'm looking and I'm like, I want to know that did it hit? Was I out of my element? Was I not in the mood? And like, I'm sitting here, and you can tell also about bots and things like that. When bots come up and they try to, bash a movie, like there seems to be like no motivation for somebody to bash this movie, like people would do with a Marvel movie or something that they claim is woke or whatnot. People get on there and they just, before they see it, they just drop a 1 and they just mess it up. The hate rating, that's what I told you about in one of the Live by Code Alamo sessions, last year. But like it says, this one right here is brand new. It says, was this film made with an iPhone or in 1970? Open your mind. Somebody is, saying, giving it a 9, 6, 4, 10, 4, 3, 5. This was created with an AI prompt. Like somebody saying that. No clue why they paid for the high reviews. And that's another thing. People are assuming that they paid for the high reviews. With somebody like Steven Spielberg, I don't think that it comes with high reviews. I mean, paying it just becomes with, look, it's Steven Spielberg. Let's try to get on his good side or whatever. I don't know. But like, I saw that, and there's a lot of ones up there. What a boring film. I left after the cliff scene. The cliff scene is what I just was talking about. The characters weren't very interesting. I couldn't care if they lived or died. Disclosure Day feels like a 1970 low budget film. Like I said, it would have worked in the 70s or 80s. Good for a one-time watch. That's what I'm saying. Should have been called The Chase. You will enjoy it if you don't think at all. I mean, I wasn't even trying to really think about it, and I didn't enjoy it. So like, just anyway, like there's people that feel the same way. Anyway, we are Live by Code Alamo. I'm talking about we, and it's just me in here with a bunch of skulls. If you can't tell, I love some skulls. But nonetheless, Live by Code Alamo here at Heartscore Art Store in downtown Asheboro. I need y'all to, subscribe and like, the whole thing, share if you can. But above and beyond that, I want y'all, if y'all in the community of Asheboro, North Carolina, to come August 7th through the 9th at the Sunset Theater, downtown Asheboro. We have a third annual Mightier Than a Sword Awards at Sunset Film Festival, and it is going to be a magnificent event for our city. I'm putting together the programming right now. In the last week, I've talked to, emailed over 100 folks. Putting this together. The submissions have been high quality, top notch, and I'm looking forward to bringing that to Asheboro, North Carolina. And the tickets are live now. Submissions are also available you can submit your projects, your films. We don't have a script session quite yet. Your music videos, things like that, you can submit up to July 4th. And yeah, we'll see y'all there. I appreciate it, y'all.